Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of uh, Billboard Comics Guiding Lines. I'm Bill, and once again, my daughter's napping in the other room, so I have to be a little bit quiet. Um, um, I want to start this off with a little bit of a rant, a little bit of a vent to you, if I can, about the selection of stuff like this, and also a question. I want to present a question to you. Um, I was put together the guiding lines for this week, and I was looking through that stuff that's coming out, and there's one obvious choice I was going to have for a book release this week, and that would be, of course, heavy metal. Heavy metal coming back is a really big thing. Um, thing is that heavy metal is not coming out next week. It is came out this week. As you can see, I have the actual copy in my hand right now. So that was a little bit of annoying because it didn't show up at all last week because I picked that up over the Slasher's Apprentice. Great book that it is. I read it. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of very gory. I think the writer, whoever the name is really working out some issues. But nonetheless, it's interesting. It should be interesting to see how it follows from this. Um, However, it that left me to try to find something else. So I'm going through everything, and I found the one I'm going to use now, which is an obvious choice. Um, but I came across something on there also that it was there from 2 weeks ago. Not only was it a book from 2 weeks ago, it's the book that we used as our big book of the week 2 weeks ago, Captain Planet #1 from Dynamite. It was not released 2 weeks ago, as you probably all well know who've watched this and went there and tried to find it. And I apologize for that. And, it's coming out this week, which, sorry, you're not getting the lead spot again. Um, so after these two little debacles, I was really kind of like a little bit put out by this. I'm like kind of like feeling like, is this segment even worth it? It's changed quite a bit since when I used to do this for Broken Frontier, and even back then it's kind of where it never were guaranteed exactly. Because you have to do this ahead of time because it involves a lot of research. Especially the way I do it, you have to like research the number of issues, the artist teams, a little bit something about the stuff. So it's kind of like you have to go through and do it stuff like this. This week I have had an extra early start because as I record this, it's the 20th wedding anniversary with my wife, and my wife, uh, being a saint, um, is allowing me to actually record this on the morning of our anniversary, so we could before we start the entire festivities. So it's kind of like especially press this week. It's a lot of work. It's very frustrating when I put all that work into it, and the like it ends up like just falling apart because the book doesn't come out when it's supposed to come out, or when the League of Comic Book Geeks comes out. And I do have like a little bit like anger towards this, but like it's I can't direct it towards anybody. Am I going to be mad at Dynamite for not releasing Captain Planet on the day it is supposed to? It's not their fault. I think they're tied up in the whole like Diamond bankruptcy, so like everything's going to be delayed. I'm sure they wanted to have it out on the day it came out, um, but it wasn't in the cards because of the whole Diamond thing. Because like same thing with the Wacky Races. It looks like it finally has come out. I didn't see it in my local comic shop when I went there yesterday, but it's not appearing on this list. At least not when I did the research for it. So my question to you is, and if you put this in the comments, if do you find this useful? Um, would you like me to continue doing this? Like I said, there's not a lot of people who actually watch it, but the segment. But if you can take a little time off your day and just say, "Hey, I like this," even though it might be a little bit flawed, I would still like to have a little heads up about the books that are coming out, or at least are supposed to come out. If you say, "Nah, it's not worth it if it's not accurate," or or yeah, don't waste your time because trust me, I could spend this time doing other stuff for the site, for the channel, and I wouldn't hurt my feelings at all. Um, So if you could just leave, if you have opinions on this, please leave something in the comments. If you don't, then leave a no comment or whatever. If you can, I really appreciate that. That'll help me go if I should go through with this in the future. Um, that being said, let's start with this week's um, guiding lines for new releases coming out on May 7th. Starting off with the big book of the week. Big book of the week is going to be Star Wars #1. Um, at once it's an obvious choice, and no one like part of me thinks it should go to somebody else. Um, but just for honor, simplicity, and quickness, I decided to put it as the book of the week this week. I'm sorry about my hair being all out of whack, um, because this is not the first Star Wars #1. This is not the first only Star Wars series that's out there. It's not like it's like it's been like decades since the last Star Wars book has come out. This isn't even the first Star Wars book that Marvel has published since Disney got the rights to Star Wars. So the idea behind like that, it is the like this would be the focus, is kind of like the big book of the week is kind of like meh. But then again, it's Star Wars. Star Wars, at least for my generation, um, is a touchstone of our generation. It's not only almost a religion; it is religion to some people. People, this was the foundation of their childhood. This is the foundation how they found their friend groups, how they found the people they fell in love with and married, how the characters are not only just like icons up on a screen; they're almost like friends and family. That's how pervasive the Star Wars franchise is with the fan base, both good and bad. As you can tell, like whenever certain people think that like it should be woke, and that's it, and are really toxic. But that's because in their own twisted way they love the franchise so much. Um, so having another Star Wars #1 to collect might be good, because Star Wars is generational. It's passed down from parent to child. Sometimes it doesn't take. It would take with my daughter because I made the unfortunate error of showing her, like I think before even Star Wars, or right after Star Wars. I didn't go from Star Wars to the Empire on TV. I randomly came across Return of the Jedi right at Yoda's death scene, and she was like 4 or 5 at the time, and it made her too sad. And for her, Star Wars was the sad one where the puppet died, and she's been holding on to that stubbornly for like the last 12 years. And I can't really blame her, and it's her choice and stuff like this. But both me and her mom are like really big Star Wars fans. She has seen movies. I think we took her to see like the Last Jedi or in the theaters. So she has watched them, but she's just not like a biggest fan as like me and her mother are. Um, but however, she's kind of an outlier amongst our friend group. Most of the people who have kids in our friend group, their kids are Star Wars fans and geeks and suits, stuff like that. Um, so having a new #1 that they could actually call their own and invest in and read and stuff like this. This appears to take place during like the original trilogy, like New Hope through Return of the Jedi. It has the classic characters of Luke, Leia, and Han, and all those guys. Um, it is going to cost you $4.99 for 32 pages. It appears to be an ongoing concern. The writer on this will be Alex Segura. It was art by Phil Noto, and the cover will be by Phil Noto. Alex Segura just recently did what I considered disappointing the question all among the Watchtower series over at DC, which I don't know if is indication of his writing or indication of the editorial mandate he had to follow with this writing. Um, but that's kind of like a disappointing kind of like um, enterprise over there with characters I really like. But Phil Nono is a great artist. I love his artwork, and he very seldom does interiors. Usually he is a cover artist, so seeing him in interiors would be like a really special treat. So hopefully, the Segura who did the question series is not the Segura who is actually a really good writer. We'll see on this series. There will be 7 open order variants. Um, One will be an Annie Wu Afra sneak preview variant. There'll be a Chris Sprouse The Force Awakens 10th anniversary variant. There'll be a variant by David Nakayama, great artist there too. Uh, variant by Gabrielle Dell'Otto. A John Tyler Christopher action figure variant. I really like those variants. Those are really neat. If I was to collect any variants, I'd probably like go deep into those because it's just uncanny how accurate they look like actual action figures. And I'm kind of like a geek like that. Ken Lashley foil variant, and a a logo variant, which is just a black cover with just the Star Wars logo on it. These are all open order, and your shop, if it depending how big it is, should have at least one, if not all, these on the shelves just to buy outright. You don't have to you didn't have to make a special minimum of orders of the main title to actually get these variants. So if you in these kind out if you see the picture and these tickle your fancy, ask your local comics shop if they have one. They could put it aside for you. But there will be 4 incentives for this book as well too. It's a 1 in 25 Pepe Larraz. There'll be a 150 Lionel Francis Yu, a 1 in 100 a version of the Gabriel Delado open order variant, and a 1 in 200 of a version of the David Nakayama variant. So that's all for the big book of the week. Next, let's move on to the new series and one-shots that are coming out this week. We're going to start with Marvel, and Marvel has number one called Fantastic Four Fanfare number 1. I am sure this is being released in May because for no reason whatsoever, not at all. Especially that because there's a big movie coming out in July. They might get like a couple of these series out, so fans of the movie could go to comic book stores and buy them. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, so that's probably why we're seeing this. Looks like a version of Marvel Fanfare, but exclusively focused on Fantastic Four, which is basically looks like it's going to have 3 stories in it by top name creators, all revolving around the Fantastic Four. It'll cost you $5.99 a piece. It's going to be a 4-issue limited series, so it'll still be going on when the movie comes out, and the trade will probably come out right after the film is released. So, comic stores will have it on there for the fans who want to come in. And it looks like it'll be 40 pages a piece for that money. This issue, the first issue, has 3 stories. The first one will be written by Mark Waid, art by Ramon Rosanas, and the cover for the whole book will be done by Matteo Scalera. Story number 2 will be written and drawn by the legendary Alan Davis. His stories are always good, so that's Mark Waid and Alan Davis is well worth the price of picking this up if you so choose, in my humble opinion, if you have the ways and means. And the third story is going to be by Andrew Wheeler, with art by Sarah Pichelli. Great lineup of creators on all these books and all these stories. So it should be interesting if you have an extra $6 in your pocket, or less if you get a discount or whatever. There'll be 4 open order variants. One by Mark Bagley, one by Nick Bradshaw, one by Nicoletta Baldari, and that's going to be a connecting variant. I guess their variant cover will be on. They'll have a variant cover on all issues of the series, and I'll make one big image, and a Sarah Pichelli foil variant. And there'll be 3 incentives: a 1 in 25 Simone DeMeo, a 1 in 50 John Byrne hidden gem. I guess hidden gems are file artwork that they have in a cabinet someplace that they come across, and they decided to make a cover of it. A couple weeks ago, on one of the books, there's a Gil Kane hidden gem. So it's probably not a new cover done by John Byrne, but something they had in their files that they're just going to brush off, dust off, and put on the cover. And a 1 in 100 Mark Bagley Virgin. I guess it's a version of his open order cover. Another number 1 coming from Marvel is the Amadeus Cho 20th Anniversary Special. And thank you, Marvel, for making me feel old. Yes, Amadeus Cho, the character, is as old as my marriage. Congratulations, Amadeus. I hope you're celebrating it as much as I am. This will be a one-shot special and be for $5.99, and it'll be 40 pages. And it does have multiple stories as well. First stories will be written by the character's creator, or the main guy who kind of had his destiny in comics, Greg Pak, with art by Takeshi Miyazawa, which pretty good manga-ish artist. The colors on that would be by Brian Valenza, And the cover of the whole thing will be done by Derek Chu. The second story will also be done by Greg Pak, but this time the artwork will be by Chris Lee, with colors by Sebastian Chang. And the third story will be, say it with me, by Greg Pak, with art by Jethro Muddles, and colors by Brian Reber. Sorry about that. I was trying to get this done in time too, so I didn't tap into my anniversary festivities as much, and so it's going to be especially kind of chicken scratchy. So you might have that a lot. I apologize if those are not the names. I apologize to the people and their families if I mangled them. There will be two other covers for this: a David Nakayama cover and a Lionel Francis Yu cover. Moving on to Dynamite. Captain Planet again. Will be the one there. I'm not going to go into much detail about this. If you want to hear what I had to say, I might put the one from when it was the Focus, the Big Book of the Week, so you could read that. $4.99, 32 pages, ongoing. Written by David Pepose, art by Eman Casellos, and cover by Mark Spears, the ever popular Mark Spears. There will be a total of 23 variant covers, 13 open order, and 10 incentive. The open order are cover B, Jay Lee, connecting cover. Cover C will be done by Christian Ward. Cover D will be done by Ben Oliver. Cover E will be Jay Lee connecting foil. Cover F will be a Jay Lee connecting virgin. Cover G will be a blank authentics version. Cover H will be Mark Spears Atlas. If I recall correctly, this one's going to be signed by Pepose. And, a limited number will be sent to comic book shops across the country, or the world, or maybe the galaxy. Who knows? Can you tell I'm not really deep into this? I was in the beginning with it when I made the Focus, but now that I have to do it again, I'm hard to get the enthusiasm for this. But I digress. Oh, wait a minute. Is there another Mark Spears? Of course there is. There's a Mark Spears Virgin, a Mark Spears Black, which is the regular cover with a black background. Mark Spears Black Foil, a Mark Spears Black Foil Virgin, and a green blank Authentics, which is a sketch cover only with a green background instead of a white. And there'll be 10 incentives. Cover K will be a Mark Spears foil, that'll be a 1 in 10 variant. Cover L will be a Jay Lee black and white variant, again 1 in 10. Cover M will be a Mark Spears foil virgin, will be a 1 in 15 variant. Cover N will be a Jay Lee black and white virgin, 1 in 15. Cover O will be a Ben Oliver virgin, 1 in 20. Cover P will be a 1 in 25 Christian Ward, I believe, variant. Cover Q will be a 1 in 30 Jay Lee connecting virgin. Cover V will be a Ben Oliver foil. Cover W will be a 1 in 10 Mark Spears black virgin. And cover X will be a 1 in 15 Ben Oliver foil virgin. The only other one that I said scheduled is one that was solicited for a couple months ago. So this is the kind of titles they're having. Like I said, can't really fault them. I'm sure they want to have their comics out when they solicited them. But then again, it's kind of frustrating for me doing a preview, especially when the League of Comic Geeks lists them as coming out and they're not coming out. And kind of hard to get mad at the League of Comic Geeks because they're probably going with the information they have and not realize that it's going to be delayed. So it's kind of like a catch-22 all around. But the next one from Dynamite is Space Ghost Johnny Quest Space Quest #1. This is the team above the two licensed Hanna-Barbera action characters that Dynamite's doing. It's a 4-issue miniseries. The first issue will cost you $4.99. That'll be 32 pages. The writing will be by Joe Casey, with art by Sebastian Perez, and letters will be by Taylor Esposito. The cover will be by the most popular man in comics, Mark Spears. And if you thought you had a lot of the variants last time, oh boy, this one has 28 Yes, 28 variant covers. I'm going to try to go through this as quickly as I possibly can while still keeping, clarity intact. Will I be able to do it? Probably not, but good luck. Let's see here. Cover B will be by Joshua Middleton. Cover C will be by Derek Chu. Cover D will be by Ben Oliver. Cover E will be by Chad Harden. Cover F will be a Mark Spears foil. Cover G will be a Mark Spears foil virgin. Cover H will be a blank authentics. Cover I will be a Josh Middleton metal virgin. Cover J will be a Josh Middleton virgin. Cover U will be a Mark Spears blue. It's his regular cover with a blue background instead of the normal one. I think it's a purplish. Cover V will be a Mark Spears foil. Might be a foil of the blue version. Cover W will be a Mark Spears foil virgin. Cover X will be a blue blank authentics, and cover Y will be a black blank authentics. I think the black blank authentics has like a field of stars to it, as it's how it looked like on the website. Or it could have just like the picture was dirty and had a whole bunch of specs on it. I don't know, and to be quite honest with you, I don't really care. The incentives, 14 of them. Cover K will be a 1 in 10 Mark Bagley. Good to see Mark Bagley's getting work, at least in the variant issues with Dynamite. He's a really good artist. I really like him, and the fact that he's still getting work years after he debuted, really warms my heart. So that's a good thing. So go from negative to positive in the flip of a coin. That's me. Cover L will be a 1 in 10 Joshua Milton foil. Cover M will be a 1 in 10 Mark Bagley black and white. Cover N will be a Joshua Middleton foil virgin. It's a 1 in 15. Cover O will be a 1 in 15 Mark Bagley virgin. Cover P will be a 1 in 15 Chad Harden virgin. Cover Q will be a 1 in 20 Mark Bagley black and white virgin. Cover R will be a 1 in 20 Ben Oliver virgin. Cover S will be a 1 in 25 Derek Chu virgin. Cover T will be a 1 in 30 Mark Spears virgin. Cover Z will be a 1 in 7 Derek Chu foil. And congratulations to Dynamite for finally getting the whole alphabet in it. More than that, because it goes on past Z. So good for you guys. I'm very proud of you. Cover ZA will be a 1 in 10 Mark Spears orange variant. I just love the fact that he's so popular. You can just change the background color of his drawing, and Alfred as a virgin, and people are going to slop it up like it's like maple syrup after a big stack of pancakes. It's just, like more power to him, and I hope that he's making money and making bank and putting it away and doing really good with it. Cover ZB is a 1 in 15 Mark Spears blue virgin, and cover ZC will be a 1 in 20 Mark Spears orange virgin. All right, next we're going to a company a little bit offline. It's called Midnight Faction. It will be 7 years in darkness, number 1. Year 3, actually, that's the name of it. It'll be $4.99, 24 pages, and it appears to be an ongoing. I'm not really sure. I can really find out online whether it is or not. It's going to be written and drawn by Joseph Schmalke. SCHMALKE, with letters by DC Hopkins, and the cover will be by Schmalke. There'll be one open order variant, cover B. It would be a Joseph Schmalke wraparound. I hope that's how you pronounce his name, because he's a big guy with this, so I'm saying it off and off and over and over again. And there will be 2 incentive versions. Cover C by Marco Fontanini. That'll be looks like a 1 in 60 or 1 in 10. Either one. There'll be a 1 per store variant of Marco Fontanini black and white virgin, and there'll be 1 retailer variant, which will be a Joseph Schmalke Patreon variant. I guess one that he made directly for his Patreon followers and supporters. Next, we're going on to new issues from Dark Horse. The first one will be Los Monstruoso. It's about a town full of monsters following a werewolf private investigator. Be written by James Robinson, one of the best, if somewhat underrated, writers in comics. Um, he wrote Starman in the '90s, and it's one of the best books that come out in the '90s. I know, low bar, but nonetheless, he's a pretty good writer in my eyes. Art will be by Jesus Marino. Um, colors will be by Kiki Diaz. Uh, letters will be by Jim Campbell, and the cover will be by Marino. There'll be four other covers with this. Cover B will be by Tony Harris. Wow, I wonder how James Robinson got Tony Harris to do the cover for this variant. You know, yeah, it's like they worked on a book back in the '90s. I just mentioned a couple minutes ago. Cover C will be a Marcos Martin variant. Cover D will be a Ramon Perez variant, and cover E will be a Dan Panosian variant. They also have another book in the um, greater Hellboy universe coming out. Lady Baltimore, the Daughters of Medusa, #1. Before 99 for 32 pages, and it looks like it'll be a 2-issue miniseries. It'll be written by, of course, as all Hellboy books are, by Mike Mignola, and he'll be joined by Christopher Golden. Artwork will be by Bridget Connell, and the cover will be by Abigail Larson. This is coming out without no variants, but if you're a big fan of Hellboy, you might want to pick this up. Image has a number, at least 2 new issues coming out. First one would be Blood and Thunder #1. It'll be $3.99 for 40 pages, and it appears to be an ongoing. This is another book written by Robert Kirkman, and he's going to be joined on this by Benito Sereno on writing. The art will be by E.J. Su. Colors will be by Michelle Asarasa Gorn. Um, yeah, and apologize if I mess up that name. I'm not good with names all the way through, but this one has a curse in it, so I apologize if I mispronounced the names. I apologize to you and your entire family. Um, and the cover will be by Sue, and with on art and colors by Asa Rasakorn. There will be 2 open orders. Cover B by David Lopez, and cover F will be a blank variant. There will be 3 incentives to go along with this as well. The cover C will be 1 in 10 by Andre Tang. Cover D, a 1 in 25 by Bernard Chang. And cover E, a 1 in 50 by J. Scott Campbell. The other new series starting from Image this week will be Free Planet #1. The price will be $3.99 for 32 pages, and it appears to be an ongoing as well. Be written by Aubrey Sitterson, with artwork by Jed Doherty, colors by Vittorio Astone, and letters by Taylor Esposito. And Doherty will be doing the cover for this issue, at least the first issue at least. There will be 2 open order variants. A cover B, which is a version of the Jed Doherty cover, and cover C will be blank, a blank sketch version. There will be 2 incentives too. Cover D, a 1 in 25 Jed Doherty foil variant, I should say. Forget the virgin. I don't know why I said that. And cover E will be a 1 in 50 Rico Oso variant. There'll be 1 retail exclusive to go with this issue as well. It would be Big Clutch Collector's Paradise, and it looks like it's going to be drawn by Buster Moody. So if you know that thing or want to look up online, you can get that. Next up, Archie has a #1 out. Betty and Veronica, Friends Forever. Spy Girls #1. It's $4.99 with 32 pages, and it's a one-shot. It'll feature a new series, a new story in it. I believe the story will be written by Tania Del Rio, with art by Holly Golightly, inks by Jim Amash, colors by Glenn Whitmore, and letters by Jack Morelli. The cover of the issue will be drawn by Dan Parent. There'll be 1 open order variant. Cover B by Vincent Lavallo, and one retailer incentive, Stadium Comics, Nuno Pereira pop art variant. And I believe all the stuff in the special will be spy themed stories involving Betty and Veronica, if that's floats your boat. AWA has a book, it's an extra graphic novel called Lookout, #1. It's $8.99 for 48 pages, and it's a one shot. I actually read this and I reviewed it. The review will be hitting live on Monday. Uh, and I don't want to spoil it for you because if I read it, you should read the review of it, and you'll find out after you read the review what exactly that means. Um, but it's less a actual graphic novel than an actual illustrated novella. It's mostly prose with spot illustrations by Tim Bradstreet, who also does the cover for the issue. Very, very, very good artwork. The writing is done by Dan Bailey, Baillie, based off of one of a series of, I think, Reddit posts that he made. So like, yeah, but I reviewed in depth in a video that will be hitting on Monday. So if this at all piques your interest or anything like that, or you want to come back on Monday and uh, watch the video review, if you can. Next up, we are going to go over to Keen Spot. They have a new one coming out. It looks like a horror themed one called "Don't Run with Scissors", #1. It's $5.99 for 24 pages. I don't know if it's going to be an ongoing one shot or miniseries or whatever. I couldn't really find anything online about it. It'll be written by Francesca Perillo, with art by Stefano Cardoselli, with colors by Lorenzo Scarmella, and a cover by Stefano Cardoselli. Something makes me think that this might be an adaptation of an Italian book. Don't hold me into it. There will be 6 open order variants. And just like last time, Keenspot seems to have all their variants done by the same artist, and usually the artist on the main book. There'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different versions of the cover done by the artist of the book, Stefano Cardoselli. The last 2, cover E will be a metal version, and cover F will be a foil version, and the last variant will be a blank version, so you could have it demarked any way you choose. There will also be there will be an incentive, a 1 in 25 Stefano Cardoselli version. I don't think they had actually had an image of it online, but I don't know if it's going to be a version of 1/1C in the open orders or what, but roll your dice, take your chances. Next up, Mad Cave comes out, another interesting book, Matching Point, #1. It'll be $4.99 for a 6-issue miniseries. I don't know how many pages it's going to be, but it's going to be for those 6 issues, it's going to be an anthology. All of them appear to be written by Mark Russell, who I think is a better than average writer. Your mileage may vary. And it'll feature, at least on this issue, art by Juan Doe, and the cover will be by Christian Ward. There will be one other cover B, done by the actual interior artist Juan Doe. It seems like a mix of sci-fi and horror. And it seems interesting if you like that. If you like Mark Russell's work and stuff like that. I like anthologies. I like getting a Whitman sampler of stories in there. And finally, wrapping up once again, Sumerian promises us that we only go out when it gets dark. #1 is coming out this week. I am not terribly thinking. I'm hoping we make it to Christmas, and I'm still saying that it's going to come out. If you want to know all the details with artists and writers and covers and whatnot, go back to one of the earlier versions of this Guiding Lines, at least the first 3, because this is our first 3 and Out Club member, because it has been solicited 3 times in this video series, and actually it's probably supposed to come out way before this. So, yeah. That's what it is, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Next, moving on to final issues, starting with Marvel. Um, this week, coming week, marks an end of Sam Wilson, Captain America, with its sixth issue, I believe. This, of course, is a series that came out to tie in with the movie, which featured Sam Wilson as Captain America and his sidekick, the Falcon, and Red Hulk. Although it seems like Red Hulk was kind of shoot into it a little bit. He didn't really play that big of a part in the series. It's $3.99 for 32 pages. It was written by Greg Pak with Evan Narcisse, uh, Narcisse, um, Narcisse. So I apologize for him making a name. I'm say this again. I should have to like just a recording that just play, like hit a button and just play. I'm sorry for you. I sorry if I offended you or your family with mangling your name. Um, the art will be Elder Messias. Colors will be Fernando Cifuentes, and letters will be by Joe Caramagna. Cover will be by Taryn Clark. I'll have one other cover, a Fabrizio de Tempete cover. Sorry about that. And that's ending. I collected it. It's kind of empty calorie kind of book. It's not horrible enough to hate, not good enough to love. It was just there. Um, but if you're a fan of the character or any of the creators, it might be worth picking up. Don't use my cynicism and me being in a bad mood because of this against me. Uh, DC has a number of stuff ending this week. First off is Two-Face with number 6. It's $3.99 for 32 pages. It's written by Christian Ward, whose name's been mentioned a couple times as an artist in this. I guess he's breaking off to be an artist writer, and congratulations, good for you. Art will be by Fabio Vega Veras, looks like. Cover by Ivan Placentia. Colors by Ivan Placentia, and the cover will be by Baltimore Rivas. That's the main cover. There'll be one other cover, cover B by Christian Ward himself. So he's doing a cover for it. Next up is a book that I had on my pull list, and I really liked Black Canary, Best of the Best, ending with number 6. $4.99 for 32 pages. Written by Tom King, art by Ryan Sook, colors by Dave Stewart, not from the Eurythmics. If you're with me, that's the Dave Stewart you know, but a totally different Dave Stewart. And the cover will be by Sook. I am really fascinated by Tom King's artwork. I think he's one of the best writers when it comes to structuring a comic book. The way he presents it, like with flashbacks and back and forth between narratives and stuff like that, very interesting, very fascinating. Um, I wish he nailed the ending a little bit better. Um, some of his work, like Heroes in Crisis, was a mess. Although I don't know if that was really due to him or due to like editorial interference, because it seems like that DC management had a heavy hand in it, or editor had a heavy hand in that thing, because it seems like it changed like at least 5 times from the original concept to the final issue, probably from issue to issue as they're being published. So I can't really blame them for that. But I thought Mr. Miracle was fascinating. I thought Strange Adventures didn't like the whole plot twist and the plot point on that. I didn't think it worked. Loved Human Target, which is basically a remake of the movie DOA, set in the world of the Wahaha version of Justice League, um, and with the noir sensibility that goes along with it. I thought it was very good, and no, and I got this one. I thought it was really really good. All right. Sorry, but if you noticed the little glitch there, had tripod issues. So I'm going to, destroy one of the tripods and keep the one that's actually working. Hopefully, I can make it through the end without it falling over again. But probably not, because that's the way the day is going. So where was I? This issue is about Black Canary fighting Lady Shiva. For charity. It's televised and everything like that. Um, I trying not to think too hard about how that works in the DC universe. Like, uh, last I checked, like Lady Shiva was at the very least a dubious character. I don't know if she's an anti-hero or what. She definitely uh, jumps uh, uh, back and forth on either side of the law. And I didn't think that she was a really out in the open kind of villain that would actually be enough for to her fighting um, Black Canary be worthy of a pay per view. Um, and it seems that Mr. King is really in love with the uh, writing of the boxing commentators because you could tell it's really wordy and it's very distracting. Um, but the selling point isn't the fight. You might think it would be, being a comic book and the action that the real meat of it is the interstitials that are like weaved into the actual match, which deals with Black Canary dealing with her mother, who is also Black Canary, and who happens to be dying of cancer, and her dealing with that, and dealing with her being a like wanting to carry on a legacy and not wanting to. It goes all the way back to her when she starts first, the second Black Canary started her career and learning with Wildcat and all that stuff, and back and forth, and goes all through the history. Back in her meeting Green Arrow, and that's where the actual series actually shines for me. It's that kind of thing, the interpersonal dramatics, and like the drama revolving around that. Um, so I'm hoping he's able to stick the landing this time. Like I was with Strange Adventures all the way up to the Strange Adventures all the way up to the last issue, and that's where he kind of like screwed the pooch with for me at least. Um, but I hope that this one will be actually uh, a really good indication of that. Um, uh, there is like one open order, which would be cover B by Belen Ortega, and one incentive, which would be cover C, uh, 1 in 25 by Dustin Nguyen. Next, we're going to go on to Dark Horse. Uh, Dark Horse has two endings this week. First one is Ripperland, ending with number 4, $4.99 for 32 pages. This is a series written by Cullen Bunn and John Harris Dunning. The art would be by Alessandra Oliveri, colors by Francesco Vivaldi, and letters by Fabio Amella. Um, Again, it's quite an Italian array of creators there. Um, in case you're wondering why you know, why it's always going overseas, that probably because the costs are lower. It's probably cheaper to pay them since we live in a digital age, and everybody's just a good internet bandwidth away from each other. Getting the stuff off them instead of paying like uh, an American creator who has a higher cost of living to do the same kind of work. Um, doesn't mean that they're like not quality or whatever. I'm not trying to make a comment about that, but in case you're wondering why all these people from other countries are getting work in our countries, if you're that kind of jingoistic, there'll be no variance for that one. And the other one, ending this time, is another one they probably came out thinking that the movie's going to be a hit, and it didn't. That's Borderlands, Moxie's Mysterious Memento, or something like that. Number 4, it's $3.99 for 32 pages. It's written by Amy Chu with art by Mike Norton. Mike Norton is another great artist. I like him a lot. Battle Pug, check that out. Um, Colors by Heather Breckle. Letters by Deron Bennett, and the cover will be by Norton. And there's no um, variance for that. Thank you, Dark Horse. Next up, Image. Grommets is coming to the end with number 7, 399, 32 pages. This is the book that was written by Rick Remender and Brian Paulson, the actor and comedian. It was quite popular. The first issue, I think, is quite valuable if you want to check that out, if you so choose. Art is going to be by Brett Passon. Colors by Marino Denislo. And the cover will be by Brett Parson. The art is by Brett Parson. I apologize to you, and say it with me, your entire family. Uh, yeah, I should do better. I should do better. And like, I don't think I'm thinking this flippantly. This is me being mad at myself about not being by screwing this up consistently, constantly on a basis. And this is all because I rushed through this. This is why it's especially bad this week. So I really do seriously, sincerely apologize for mangling any name that's in here. Um, all right, so let's go on sharply on this. I think we're coming in close to the end. We have about like 70,000 more books. Let's try to get through that. There are two other covers, a cover B and cover C by 120 by James Callan. Four. Okay, next one will be by American Mythology. It will be the last issue of the Return of the Living Dead miniseries. It'll be number 4. 4.99 for 32 pages. Kind of fascinating. This, I think, the original Night of the Living Dead, um, the George Romero version, which doesn't have the copyright, um, was done in the 60s, but apparently he did it with partner with another person. Um, George Romero did went on his own way to do like Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead, but then his partner, who believed he still had the rights to it, well, actually nobody had the rights. You could, if you want to go into your backyard and do a version of Night of the Living Dead remake with sock puppets, you can. You're allowed to do that because they forgot to put the copyright on it apparently or something like that. But the other guy decided, okay, well, that's where how he thinks the series was going to go. This is how I think the series is going to go, and that's where the Return of the Living Dead series came. And it's more campy and more weird. I remember seeing the movie. I'm a big zombie fan. I remember seeing the movie when I was younger. I haven't seen it since, I don't think. Where I think like one of the guys is a zombie in a church, and he's trying to convince his girlfriend to let him eat her brains. And years later, there's a inside joke between my wife about that, which, you know, if you want to know, well then, shred it to 50 people, and if those 50 people come back and watch this, I'll let you know in the next video. I'll totally forget about it because it's never gonna happen. This could be written by James Kohoric, and essay check. Art by Andrea Arcari, uh, colors by Giovanni Capun, letters by Rob Jones, and cover by everybody's favorite, America's Sweetheart, Mark Spears. The before other covers, cover B by Paul Maitland, cover C by Roy Allen Martinez, cover D by Andrea Arcari, and a cover E by Roy Allen Martinez. It'll be a black and white version variant. That's it for the last issues. Let's now move on to issues of note.
This looks interesting.
All right. Starting off with Marvel, with Ultimate Marvel number 5, uh, 4.99, 32 pages. It's an ongoing series. It's written by Chris Condon with art by Alex Ling, and colors by Brian Valenza. The cover would be by Alessandro Capuccio, which would be the artwork, and this issue will mark the first appearance in the new spanky, shiny Ultimate Universe of Sabretooth. Um, if you know Wolverine, you know that Sabretooth is um, his main nemesis, his Lex Luthor, his Joker, his whatever. Um, it'd be interesting to see how he's introducing this dynamic because this Logan, this Wolverine, is more of a villain than Sabretooth is in the main version. So I don't know if like they're going to play with that dynamic and Sabretooth being the uh, more righteous of the two. Should be interesting to see. There are going to be two variant covers, two open orders. Which first one by be a Lionel Francis Yu Ultimate Special variant, and one by Simone DeMeo. There'll be one incentive, a 1 in 25 Steven Segovia variant. Another one that you should keep an eye on for is All New Venom number 6. Be 4.99, 32 pages for an ongoing series. Written by Al Ewing, art by Carlos Gomez, C by Frank Diamara, lettering by Clayton Cowles, and the art will be by Adam Kubert. This is going to be telling the origin of the all-new Venom. I hope I'm not coming to spoilers here because it's been all over the news. If you haven't read it, Mary Jane Watson is the all-new Venom. And I'm not reading this series, and I have no idea how it's doing. It might be the most entertaining, exciting, wacky, crazy, out there kind of thing. For me, on the outside looking in, I think it's one of the most stupid, idiotic kind of ideas there could ever be. But that's just me about this. But this one is going to be the origin and find out how she came across being the new Venom, and hopefully maybe they could make some sense of it and make it make sense somehow. There will be 3 open order variants. There will be one by Logan Libera, an Impossible Man variant. One by Lucas Wernick, spoiler variant, which has, if this hasn't spoiled for you, that'll cover well because it show Mary Jane turning into Venom. And one by Pete Woods. There'll be 2 incentive versions, a 1 in 25 by E.J. Sue, and a 150 of the Lucas Wernick variant, but it's going to be a Virgin variant of that. Let's move on to DC. DC has issues of note. Birds of Prey number 21, which will introduce a new villain team. Always a good thing to check in on. I've read. I haven't been keeping up with this, but I have read this and I've enjoyed it very much. The issue will cost you $3.99, be 32 pages, and be ongoing. It's going to be written by Kelly Thompson, art by Sammy Basri, inks by Vincente Cifuentes, and colors by Adriano Lucas. And I will have a cover by Annie Wu. There'll be 3 open order covers. Cover B by Nimit Malvia. Cover C by Ryan Gonzalez. Orion Gonzalez. I guess Rian. That's how you pronounce it, Orion. And a cover D by Cliff Chang, AAPI Heritage variant. And one incentive will be a cover E, 125 of a Lee Garbett version variant. Next issue of note is Batgirl number 7, which will be $3.99, 32 pages and ongoing. Be written by Tate Bamber, art by Isaac Goodhart, colors by Mark Spicer, letters by Tom Neapolitano, and it's going to be starting of a new arc. And apparently, Lady Shiva is in this as a villain, so I don't know how the two reconcile. I don't think like the Black Canary one is a what's it called version or whatever. Maybe it is. Who knows? There'll be 3 other covers. Cover B done by Dan Mora, cover C by Isaac Goodhart, and a cover D by Cliff Chang, AAPI Heritage variant. Poison Ivy, number 21 will hit. This is the note because the series artist, Marcio Takara, is going to return with this issue. Costs you $3.99 for 32 pages in its ongoing series. It's written by G. Willow Wilson. Again, the art was going to be by Takara. The cover art will be by Jessica Fong. There will be 2 open orders. Cover B by Joshua Swaby, and cover C by Kyo Young Yeom. There'll be 2 incentive covers. A cover D by Kathy Kwan, that's a 1 in 25, and a 1 in 50 of the Joshua Swaby Virgin. There'll be 3 retailer versions, all done for 616 Comics, all drawn by Carl Cohen. There will be the looks like they're all a connecting variant, but it'll be the regular, the Virgin, and the foil version, depending what your diet allows. Next up, we have Image, which is Farmland, number 21. $3.99, 32 issues, ongoing. Written art by Rob Guillory, Guillory. Colors by Jean-Francois Bellou, and the cover will be by Guillory. This is the starting up of the final arc of the series. So if you have been following the series, get prepared for this to gently leave your pull list. If you haven't, and you want one last chance to catch it before it leaves the individual issue format, uh, come and get it. No variants for this one. Archie also has one of issue of note, World of Archie, Jumbo Comics Digest, number 150. It's an anniversary issue. It's the 150th issue of this digest. Um, it is going to be the first story, I believe, will be written and drawn by Dan Parent. Uh, Colors by Julia Swingen. I'm sorry about that. Letters by Jack Morelli. Cover will be by Dan Parent, with colors by Rosario Pino on it. Um, this is going to be the news story for the issue, um, and it's going to be a Taylor Swift parody. And I guess they're going to say um, a star called Tara Swift along their work there, which is kind of funny because I'm on the publicity list for Archie, and coming up in a couple weeks they're going to have another um, issue of one of their series where they meet a Selena Carpenter instead of a Serena Carpenter. Um, Selena Carpenter, whoever did the whole Espresso song. I can't think of her name right now. The other story will be by Paul Castiglia and Barbara Jarvis. Um, Pencils by Fernando Ruiz, inks by Rus Kozlowski. And yeah, so if you're a fan of Archie, there you go. Take a look out. Or a friend of Taylor Swift, or a foe of Taylor Swift, or have no opinion Taylor Swift, this might be something you might want to pick up. Now we're going on to do facsimiles. Um, First off, Archie is, of all people, are getting into facsimile game. They have done a couple of these in the past, so this is not anything brand spanking new. Um, but it's kind of like, you know, interesting when they actually decide to do that. They're going to do a version of Archie's Girls Meeting Veronica, number 320. Um, this might it seems like a very Cheryl Blossom focused one, so I don't know if this is the first appearance of her. Like, I'm not really big up on Archie. I'm sorry, but if it is, it is. This will have 4 variants in addition to the regular facsimile. There could be a Stadium Comics Dan DeCarlo variant, Comics Bill Walko variant, Happy Comics Brandon Graham metal version, and a Happy Comics regular version of the Brandon Graham cover. So you have 5 covers of this variant all to choose from. Boom Studio is doing a variant for its Mouse Guard. I guess it's a series, Mouse Guard number 1. There's no variants on that, but if you want to check out Mouse Guard, there you have it. And DC has looks like 2 variants this time. It's going to be first is going to be Batman 6, I believe, and it'll have 1 foil variant, and it looks like um, and the other variant facsimile they're going to have is the Brave and the Bold number 87. It's going to have a foil variant and like maybe a sketch variant. You could actually have like a thing like that. Not entirely sure, but you'll see on the pictures there what it is. All right. At long last, the National Nightmare is finally over. This is the end of this week's guiding lines. Like I said, as I said in the beginning, if you find this useful, let me know in the comments. If you say, like, if I don't hear anything, I might just quit this because this has been tough. It's been a headache, and it could be because, like, I was rushed trying to get through and screwing up, like, writing down the information into my little handy notebook, um, and because, like, um, all that. So if you like me to keep this, let me know in the comments. If you don't have to let me know anything. I don't really, I'll take that as a no. Um, but as bad as this was, as tough as it was to get through with all the foibles and stuff like that, at least I'm gone now, and I am now able to enjoy my anniversary with my wife. So, on that note, have a good week, have a good weekend, and keep on collecting.